moves us to a new fair board. And I'm almost got that complete, and we would like to actually review that at the November meeting so that we can kind of, thank you. So again, we're working on some special schedules for the next 3 months to accommodate fair board members' upcoming schedules, with the hope to move us forward, as we've been discussing in the recent past, towards appointing a new fair board at the first of the year. So when we get to the staff updates, I'll talk about that. Asia, do you know whether or not, have you had any correspondence or contact from Frank Geltner? Or maybe if you haven't, Christy actually came in today. Christy was not scheduled to be here, so Asia is providing some assistance for us. But let me just, I'm going to just step out very quickly. Everybody hang on.
Okay.
And see what's going on. All right, Casey and Christy and Asia are working on this to see what's going on.
Okay, everybody, I got Frank on the phone right now. So stand by. Frank, where are you at?
Can he connect on the Zoom?
Well, I think so, but I'm not going to use my phone right now.
Oh, my
Since I need it for the work. Okay, we're going to send Frank the link, but what I do think we might be able to do is we probably could put him on speakerphone. I think it'd be best though, Frank, if you could jump in on Zoom. Okay, so let me, Christy, send Frank the link to the Zoom right now. Okay, she's going to send it to you. I want you to stay with me until I'm sure it's delivered to you. Stand by. Frank@newportnet.com.
Oh, okay. Probably a night because it has been either some type of So you want me to send it?
Yeah, send it to the email.
Okay, there you go. So we have MODA.
Okay, so check your email, Frank, and we'll stay with you. We'll go ahead and keep Frank online here until we're sure he can get logged in.
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah. Frank, while you're doing that, I presume you received all the media. I did, yes. Good. I also, yeah, I think. I sent it to you later these times, so I presume they will reach out for you for, supplemental. In fact, I think they posted it.
Yeah.
Okay, you see that email there, Frank?
Yep.
Yeah, and I sent it as well.
Oliver?
Likely received 2 emails.
December 27, 1978. Yeah, I don't mind too much. Sorry. Jerry was wondering if you would give him a call. Jerry was wondering if you would give him a call.
Yeah.
On his work phone. In your dark. Okay.
See the text I just sent you, you can put on that as well.
Yeah.
Also, there's a phone number.
Having trouble downloading it, see it's working. Did you say there was something in the text?
Let's go give it to
So if you click on the text that I just sent you, that should allow you to pull it up on the app.
Yeah. I don't know how brief it is, but she's just been struggling with like some
So I'm sorry, did you participate in or
we had her in the emergency room a few months back thinking that she had appendicitis. She, got over it and severe pain, and then the next day it just slowly started to get better and it actually got to normal. Since she has had it.
We're still trying, Frank's almost there.
Did he find the email yet?
Yeah, I think he found an old email since he's not receiving.
But then she fits it in each one.
Well, I mean,
So,
you can call it and be a,
then, but-
other ends of we're receiving calls. and things like that, so.
Lincoln County Board of Commissioners, this is Christine. Let me help you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Barbara.
Stand by.
Oh, yeah. How can I help you?
So, so,
I don't believe it was so for ongoing expenses. I have to double check. And so this is just, yeah, this is just for operating costs. I know with the, I'm pretty sure it's with the nonprofit social service. I know they allow you to do the operating costs, but let me double check. I believe it's for an economic development project of sorts.
Christy, your mic's still open.
Oh, one moment. I'm gonna try calling him in and just conferencing him into this call. Hey Frank, it's Christy. I've got you pulled up right next to the meeting. I'm just gonna have you conference call in.
Yeah, it wouldn't accept the passcode.
Okay, Wayne, can you hear Frank okay?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so we'll get started then.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, they can hear you, Frank.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and start then. And why doesn't Claire go ahead and conduct? I'll just listen in.
Okay.
Alrighty. At 10:18, I'll call to order the meeting of the Lincoln County Fair Board for Thursday, October 14th, 2021. Frank Geltner and I are present. Jim Beisman is excused. This does constitute a quorum of the board. The minutes of the September 9th, 2021 Fair Board meeting were emailed out for our review, and unless there's any objection, those will stand approved as presented. Now we're on to the OSU Extension 4-H Update Fair event. Todd Williver, good morning.
Good morning, all. Quick 4-H update. Feels really good to be back providing 4-H programming. We had our open house event, I think it was Saturday, the 2nd of October at the fairgrounds. Developed several new faces that we hadn't had before. We've got several clubs back up and running after a nearly 2-year hiatus. It's just exciting to see things progressing post-COVID or after the COVID shutdowns anyway. We're also up and running with our after-school program in the Pick of the Litter building. That seems to be working out just fine, sharing it with Salvation Army and others that need access. Just good to have a space to do that. We're providing after-school programming 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the kids and the families are tremendously appreciative. So thank you all for making that possible and continuing the effort. Just a quick fair update, or maybe fair infrastructure update. We did secure those 2 sets of bleachers. The check went out. The fellow has received it. I am working frantically to find shipping to get those here. You may have heard with hundreds of vessels docked at sea in the port of Long Beach and LA, and the trucking shortages. It is really tough to get shipping and transportation provided. The bids that I've been getting are crazy expensive, like $4,000 per set. $8,000 just to transport those from Iowa City, Iowa to here. So I'm continuing to work on options that will be more economical. I know that even that $8,000 is within our budget, but that just seems crazy to me. So I'm still working on other alternatives to make that work. Hopefully we'll have those here by the end of the month, and everything will be good. I continue to look at new metal for the arena and back pins of the livestock area. I don't really have anything to report there. Supply chain disruptions are making that incredibly difficult as well. Not just the transportation, but also just the inventory at various facilities that provide that type of equipment. So we're looking at that. I don't have an update for that at this point. Any questions, anything I missed, anything I can answer?
Nothing from me, Frank. Do you have any questions?
Nothing from me.
All right.
As always, thank you so much for all of your support over the years.
You're most welcome, Todd. And do we have a county staff update now? I imagine we do. Who's going to lead off?
This is Wayne. Why don't I start off with a couple of things and then I'll finish up after others talk about some meeting dates for the future here. So the first one is just a quick report that, and I know that Claire and Jack and Roy participated yesterday in a meeting around the animal shelter, and we're making pretty significant progress on that particular project as we move forward with relocating the shelter off the commons property to a new location. And that then will assist us in moving forward with the redevelopment plan, master plan redevelopment plan, once that's completed. You can stay tuned. You'll probably see some reports in the media around this, but we're making nice progress with the consultants. And we looked at a pretty interesting plan and layout for the shelter yesterday. There's some additional work that needs to be done. We also have an appraisal now. The city obtained an appraisal. And so we'll sit down and negotiate the final lease arrangement with the city utilizing that particular document. So that was number one. Number two is, and I'll let Jack weigh in here. You had asked us to look at the Harney Street building in terms of whether or not that would be part of our long-range redevelopment plans to possibly do some work on that building, or whether it comes down. And very clearly, Jack and I talked right after last meeting, and then talked a little bit more. This building was planned to come down, and it needs to come down. And so, Jack, I'm not sure whether or not we've had any progress yet at getting somebody to come in and start the demolition work, or where we are with that process.
No, I haven't been able to put any time towards that. I can try to do that this month.
I'm thinking, Jack, that maybe you can combine that with the demolition work we need to do over across from Extension, actually, for that building. Maybe we can get somebody to do both projects at once and save some MOB costs. I don't know if that is possible or would help at all, but you can think about that.
We can look into it. You want, are we taking down the rest of the targeted buildings as well, or just going to start with these two?
So which ones would be the other ones on the common site if we took them down now?
The one that's probably next on the list would be the rabbit barn, but I think Todd's got that pretty well stuffed with 4-H supplies or fair supplies.
Todd, it looks like you're frozen.
Yeah.
Well, let me suggest this. We know that we want to do the Harney Street, and the county's got another facility, but we may want to begin the work on other structures that need to be torn down as part of this or not. I think that's really kind of at the county's discretion as we look at this and look at the options, but we'll have to work closely with Todd and others if any of those other buildings are currently being utilized, even if it's for just storage.
Does the Fair Board need to make any vote on this?
No, this was just to inform you where we were with that. You had asked that question of whether or not we were going to do any additional work, but no, this is actually for this particular activity, it's the county that actually undertakes it.
Okay.
All right, I will proceed to get the Harney building torn down, and we'll go from there. We'll get that and the OSU, across the street from OSU. That's been scheduled for months now. So
Now that's the corner of Harney and Third, correct?
yes.
Okay.
So Vice Chair Hall, you might want to see if there's any other staff updates, and I have a final update I'd like to talk about.
I have nothing else to chime in at this time, other than we've got the third round of shot clinics running and everything seems to be doing fine with them. I haven't had any issues. I haven't heard from Todd in a while, so I imagine in my business, if you don't hear from people, it's good news. So I miss you, but we're not breaking anything. That's good. Other than that, I have nothing.
Roy, do you have anything for us?
Not really. I was gone for a week and a half, but I know that when I was gone, the road department did rock that section north of the exhibit hall so that during the COVID vaccine process, people can actually now drive a loop between Third Street and Third Street or Third Street and Harney, however they want to do that. I know that was something that emergency management really wanted. And so I know that got done. Other than that, I don't have anything.
All right, any other staff with anything to report for the Fair Board? Hearing none, I'll ask Mr. Belmont for his closing comments.
Well, thank you. Mr. Wiseman is not here because he has very recently taken on a new commitment. He is actually the regional, I think the title is chair of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW group that covers basically a tri-county area here. They've had some staffing issues for that particular group. And so he is stepped in to, on an interim basis, assist them while they're doing some reorganization. And unfortunately, they have a regular meeting on this particular day of the month at 10 o'clock. And so he was unable to make it. So what he asked to do, knowing that we're moving forward, we are continuing to move forward towards the transition to a different fair board, a more full-time fair board. He asked if we could consider moving, not necessarily the date, although we have to talk about November, but the time. Instead of having these meetings at 10 o'clock in the morning on the Thursday it's scheduled, make it at 1:30. He could make those meetings and would like to make those meetings. Again, I am working right now on the package of materials that we need to put together to reach an understanding between the Fair Board and the county to move forward with the appointment of the new Fair Board. And it includes a process of what we're looking for in the Fair Board, for the Board of Commissioners in compliance with ORS Chapter 565, clarifies that what we've been doing in practice and policy for a number of years now about the management of the commons outside of the fair and the fair events, but really kind of puts that all together. And I'm going to have that for you to discuss at our November meeting. And it's really kind of the precursor to moving forward with actually soliciting appointments to the Fair Board and moving to the new Fair Board. And so what I would hope to do is two things. One is to say, can we move forward for the next few months? And I'd say through maybe January at this point, with having the meeting on this same Thursday of the month, but at 1:30. That's number one. And then the second thing is that November, both Mr. Beisman and I have a conflict on the week that the Fair Board is occurring. So I was going to suggest that we have an alternative date for the Fair Board meeting in November to have this discussion. And that would be on November 18th, which is again a Thursday.
Okay, may I chime in here?
Sure.
Okay, I recently started working here at the Performing Arts Center in their box office, and I can't always predict the days I'm working. So for me, 5 o'clock my time or 5:30 or 2:30 your time would be better for me. Anytime.
That's fine.
After 2 your time.
Why don't we make it, instead of 1:30, we'll make it 2:30.
Wayne?
That's great.
Yes.
Oh, Wayne?
Yes.
The 2:30 Thursday afternoons will work for me, but the Thursday afternoon, November 18th meeting does not work. You know, I'm chair of the COG board this year, and
Gotcha.
Oh, wait a minute. No, actually, yesterday I found out we're moving that meeting. Normally we'd be meeting that afternoon, but it's going to be moved to early December. So never mind. I can make that work.
And just to note, we would probably be changing this meeting anyway, because November 11th, the normal meeting date, is a holiday. It is Veterans Day, and it is a holiday, and there won't be folks around anyway. So
exactly.
So how about if is the 18th work, Frank, for you at 2:30 and for Claire at 2:30?
All right.
Okay, we'll move it then, and we'll make sure Christy and Asia that we want to move the notice for the Fair Board will be a different date and time. So it'll be November 18th at 2:30.
And if we could get email or a
Yep.
calendar invite or something to make sure we get it on our calendars.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
And you will have in your hands then really the package of materials that will move us forward to the long-awaited creation of the new Fair Board. And then we'll start that process of soliciting Fair Board members. So I also point this out to Todd and Heather, you know, that I know we've had some people in the past who've expressed a real interest in being involved in the Fair Board and the fair activities. So have them stay tuned, and we'll make sure you guys get the materials as we go out and solicit new members for the Fair Board. But I think we're at that point where we can get this moving forward and completed, and say, finally, thank you to you, Frank and Claire and Jim, for your longtime service to the Lincoln County Fair.
So will that be a publicly solicited notice?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So at that point, at this point, I have nothing else to add at this time. Just that we're noting for the record that we're going to meet again on November 18th at 2:30.
Sounds
Very
good.
good.
All right.
Nothing else from you, Wayne?
Nothing else from me.
Todd, Jack, Roy, just want to make sure we covered everything there is to cover.
All good on our end.
Yeah. And if there's nothing else for the good of the order, today's Fair Board meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
Well.